stop me now. Don't stop me, 'cause I'm having a good time, having a good time. I'm a shooting star leaping through the sky like a tiger, defying the laws of gravity. I'm a racing car passing by like Lady Godiva. I'm gonna go, go, go. There's no stopping me. I'm running through the...
Hear the same tire complaints every day, but one has made so many appearances I feel it has to be addressed. Luke, why do you hate this movie? You're a terrible reviewer. Luke Nukem, why do you hate everything? Are there any films you actually like? Well, putting aside the fact that most of my reviews are split between positive and negative reviews, you're dang right they're films I like, a crap load of films. But then I saw a film that really changed the way of how we look at films today, and standing like an obelisk over them all is Ilya Naushuler's 2016 masterpiece, Hardcore Henry. Now, before we review this masterpiece, I gotta display something real quick. During spring break, I got a chance to see the film at South by Southwest, that is in Austin, Texas. But not only did I attend the screening, I got to see the director, I got to see the cast, and I was even interviewed just to tell people how great the film is. Don't believe me? Check this out.
Don't stop me now. I'm having such a good time. I'm having a ball. Don't stop me now. If you wanna have a good time, just give me a call. Don't stop me now. I'm having a good time. Don't stop me yes, now. I'm having a good time. I don't wanna stop at all.
Alright, now let's dive into the masterpiece that is Hardcore Henry. Basically, what Hardcore Henry is an action film that is set in first person, so you basically see through the eyes of Henry, the main character. And in this movie, Henry and his wife are being attacked by Aiken, a maleficent warlord that wants to take out Henry. But lucky enough, Henry meets up with his companion Jimmy, played by Charlton Copley, who used to work for Aiken, but then Jimmy's like, you know what, I'm sick and tired of what he's doing, so Henry, not only are we gonna save your wife, but we're gonna kill that son of a gun. And so it's basically up to Henry to team up with Jimmy so he can take out Aiken and save his wife. Guys, if you really can't tell because of my pumped up attitude, I really love this movie. First of all, the story is fantastically executed and really enthralling. It might be linear to some people, but for me, the story is not linear. This film is a freaking roller coaster ride, because the film really finds new clever ideas that it mixes into the film one after the next, and it really catches on. But not only is it enthralling to the viewers, but it makes you feel like you're going along for the ride. It's your film. You're the action star. You're Henry. Be the best protagonist you can be. The acting is extraordinary and really energetic. The woman who I don't know the name to, I apologize, who plays Henry's wife, she's really sympathetic to Henry, wants to do everything she can to make sure he's alive. But there are 3 showstoppers in this entire film, and those characters are Jimmy, Aiken, and Henry. Henry, he doesn't even need to say words. To connect, he usually does sign language, usually through certain situations or just to have a conversation. But along with this character, Henry is also really humorous, and you really relate to the guy. And let's talk about the guy who ultimately takes the cake. And that is Jimmy, played by Charlton. I'm gonna be in every single Austin movie from now on, Copley. This guy steals every single scene he's in, period. But not only is he a great companion to Henry, a really awesome companion, his performance is so energetic, so charismatic, and so humorous that you're just like, you know what? I want that guy to be my sidekick. He's awesome. And yes, there are scenes with him that can make you laugh so hard. Even the villain Aiken is awesome. Aiken is really great in this movie because he doesn't feel like a generic villain. He isn't as bland as forgettable as Ultron, and he's definitely not as annoying and hard to sit through like Lex Luthor. He's a villain that throws out really hilariously awesome one-liners, and a villain at the same time is really menacing to Henry. And yes, there are films in there that will generally make you laugh hard, because as I was watching Hardcore Henry, there were tons of people laughing in the theater. That's how hilarious it is. And by the way, I'm one of those people laughing in the theater. And yes, this is the same kind of generic stuff I hear every day. When I see a found footage film, people always complain and moan about, I can't tell what's going on. What's going on? Yeah, you're gonna probably hear that in a lot of reviews on Rotten Tomatoes that you're probably gonna ignore. But when you're watching the film, you'll completely forget about that complaint, because the movie's cinematography is so breathtakingly realistic. The camera acts along with the character. What they basically use is a GoPro in front of a helmet, and they want to make sure that the footage is as really steady as possible, or make us feel like we're actually the eyes of Henry. We actually are watching what is going on. Every fight scene you can see what's going on. And when Henry is getting hit, of course he has to move because he's getting hit. It's not gonna be like steady all the time. And the cinematography is what makes this film completely unique and really creative. But the true rewards found in Hardcore Henry are found in its action. And you know, I thought like every other person, oh, you don't know who's fighting who, or you don't know what Henry is shooting at. I've never been more wrong in my life. Every single action scene is a work of art. Every single action scene is masterfully choreographed, and throughout its raw and perfect sound design, every punch, every kick, every weapon use feels extremely raw and so perfect. And coming back to the cinematography, with all that perfect choreograph, you can see how every action scene is managed and how perfect it is. And the fact that you're watching it through the eyes of Henry, it should make the audience completely energetic, and it really makes you want to feel like you want to punch Aiken's minions. And that is the sort of thing that makes the viewer more empowered and godlike. You'll be blown away by what happens in Hardcore Henry. By shooting a Gatling gun through a van of enemies, to shooting and throwing grenades at one of Aiken's soldiers in an abandoned building, to fighting 100 clones on a rooftop in one of the greatest action scenes you'll see all year. Hardcore Henry manages to impress in ways the most overblown, explosive Batman vs Superman movie fails miserably at. You run and parkour to every single enemy, fighting them one after the other. And that is the sort of thing that makes the audience feel energetic, really excited, and really invested, even while Queen is playing in the soundtrack. Guys, in the end, Hardcore Henry is one of the greatest action films I've ever seen. I'm being completely honest about it. I never say that, ever. Actually, I did with Mad Max Fury Road. And Hardcore Henry manages to be like one of those action films like Terminator 2, Mad Max Fury Road, The Road Warrior, Infernal Affairs, The Raid, Kingsman, all those amazing action films. With its story that's fantastically executed, really charismatic characters, amazing acting, the cinematography being breathtakingly realistic, the film having so much humor and so much energy, the sound design is raw and perfect, and the freaking action blows your mind completely. Oh, and also the beginning intro sequence. You'll love the beginning intro sequence more than you're gonna love the Deadpool intro sequence. Trust me on that. I am, of course, gonna give this amazingly badass movie a 5 out of 5. Go see this movie right now. Don't see a bad Melissa McCarthy movie. Don't see the worst film of the year. Go see Hardcore Henry. You will love it. It is that perfect. Alright guys, that is my review on Hardcore Henry. Comment below, let me know what you thought about this amazing masterpiece. Find me on Facebook, Google+, or private message me on YouTube if you feel like it. My name is Luke Nukem, and folks, Hardcore Henry really is hardcore.